Haikyu is the greatest sports anime ever made. And if you don't think so, I don't know what to tell you, man. Maybe sports aren't your thing, maybe friendships make you uncomfortable, but for the rest of us who aren't soulless husks, Haikyu is the pinnacle of volleyball anime. And yeah, I know that sounds like the nerdiest thing you could possibly care about, but trust me, it is way more hype than you'd expect. You've got characters flying around the court like they're auditioning for a superhero movie, and no one ever talks about how a high school volleyball team is pulling in crowds like it's the NBA finals. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's start with the basics. We follow this short dude, Hinata. Now this dude's got the energy of someone who just snorted a whole bag of pixie sticks. Oh my god, he caked up! And for some reason he's obsessed with volleyball. And like any short guy with dreams bigger than his height and meat size, he wants to be the best spiker in Japan. Bro's like 5'4" and he's talking about crushing dudes who are a foot taller than him like it's nothing. You gotta respect that kind of delusion. Then there's Kageyama, Hinata's polar opposite. He's basically the Sasuke of volleyball. This guy is so obsessed with being the best setter that he treats everyone like trash. I'm talking about straight up blue lock ego. He's got the same energy as a kid who reminds the teacher about homework when everyone's trying to leave. And somehow, he and Hinata, two guys who probably wouldn't even fist bump if they met on the street, become this unstoppable duo. Well look, you got us kicked out again, you fucking dumbass. I hate when you do this. What did you call me, Hinata? Let us in now! I heard you got pictures of Hinata's left booty cheek in your room. How the fuck does he know that? Shh, it's okay. You can go home now. It's like watching a buddy cop movie where one dude's a hyperactive maniac and the other one's an emotionally repressed freak. And instead of solving crimes, they're spiking volleyballs at people's face. Now Haikyu works because the stakes are real. Every match feels like a life or death. Like if they lose, they're getting tossed out of high school and forced to work at McDonald's. And the show's animation goes so hard during these matches that you think they had the same budget as a Marvel movie. You got these dudes jumping like they're aiming for a spot at the Olympics. They got everything, intense ass close-ups, slow motion shots, the whole thing. But what really makes Haikyu top tier is the character drama. It's not just about volleyball, it's about watching these guys grow up. You get stuff like Hinata dealing with his height complex. No way, this nigga just as short as me.
Is this nigga serious?
Kageyama learning how to be less of a dictator, and all these other guys have their own issues too, like Tsukishima, who's basically too cool for volleyball and yet somehow too depressed to care about anything else. We also get introduced to Yu, aka the ace of the team, and I knew I was gonna like him because the way they introduced this man was actually hilarious. Coach, aren't the grand finals about to come up? Oh, don't worry, Hinata. We've got nothing to worry about in this year's finals. Why? Because the garden deity of Kurushino is coming back tomorrow. This nigga has a mop and a janitor's outfit on. This anime is peak. But by the time they finally hit nationals, even the coldest dudes on the team are ready to murder the competition. The way these guys evolve over the course of the show is nuts. Like there's this scene where Tsukishima finally gets his head out of his ass and pulls off a game-changing block, and I swear it's like watching the redemption arc of the most disinterested character ever. But let's talk about the villains, or the other teams, because Haikyu doesn't really have villains, but holy shit, they might as well be. You got teams like Shira Torizawa, where the captain Ushijima looks like he could bench press a school bus. This dude is built like the final boss, and his spikes hit like Thanos just snapped his fingers. And then there's Oikawa, who's basically volleyball's version of a dreadhead villain. You low-key want to punch him in the face. He's cocky, but also charismatic enough to make you hate yourself for wanting to be him. The man's got fans screaming his name like he's Justin Bieber. Oi, oi. Huh? That was just something light. Don't want to get the crowd too wet.
Oh my god, you're so cute.
Oi, oi. Today's game was pretty fun. Almost as pretty as you, Hinata. I knew you were a little sassy.
roll that way.
Want a knuckle sandwich?
Yo, what daddy said.
Wait, what? Both of you calm down. I'm just here to expose Kageyama. This man has 15 naked photos of you in his room, Hinata. Now, the show doesn't just stop at hyping up Kurishino. They make you care about the teams they go up against. Like, I'm sitting here watching Nekomo's matches, and suddenly I'm rooting for their team too. What kind of mind trick is that? And when they crash in the iconic Kurishino vs Nekomo match, it's not just volleyball, it's philosophy. It's like watching ancient rivals go to war, except, you know, with less blood and more knee pads. If you don't end up watching the show after all that, you're missing out on some of the most intense, emotional sports drama you'll ever see. It doesn't matter if you never touched a volleyball in your life, by the end of HAIKYUU, you're gonna want to grab one and start practicing your jump serve.